Hello, and welcome to our discussion on invented spelling and other spelling interventions for teaching spelling to students with disabilities. This was created for the Linking Assessment and Instruction for Students with Disabilities class taught at Bloomsburg University by Dr. Carolyn Reed Brown in the fall 2018 semester.
For this project, we did invented spelling. The four of us that worked on the project were Rebecca Martonic, a senior criminal justice major, Shayla Evans, a senior criminal justice major, Kevin Lantigua, a senior criminal justice major, and Mark Schlegel, a senior secondary education citizenship major. When discussing the background of invented spelling, it's broken down into three different phases, which are Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. When discussing Old English, it had to do with the arrival of the invaders in the 5th century to around 1130. Middle English arrival was roughly 1130 to 1470, and Modern English came around 1470 to the present day. The intervention that is focused on is invented spelling. Invented spelling is the use of letters and/or symbols to represent text. There are 5 stages in the development of spelling, but the two we're going to focus on right now is the semi-phonetic stage and the phonetic stage. In the semi-phonetic stage, the child understands simple sounds to single letters, such as the letter U for YOU. In the phonetic stage, the child can use those letters together to make sounds and even into shortened words such as KOM for the word come, COME.
How invented spelling works. There are 5 different stages of invented spelling. The first stage is prephonetic, where students can use sounds but cannot associate to the letters. The second is semiphonetic, where students use simple sounds to single letters. The third is phonetic, where students use letters together to make simple sounds or words. The fourth is transitional, seeing letters to create sounds. And last but not least, conventional, basic understanding of the English language. The example we have here is an example of phonetic. The student tried writing, I like playing soccer, I play goalie, my team won the game. Although he did not write it the correct way, he tried to sound out the letters as best as he could. Supporting research on invented spelling. Invented spelling allows students the freedom to explore the language and develop their own ways of writing. Gene Wasnick and his team researched that reading inventions help students with phonics or morphological components, immediate corrective feedback for misspelled words, the use of computer-assisted instructions were all beneficial and increased spelling outcomes for students with learning disabilities. In our school systems today, we have to find different ways of teaching the students how to read and write, and invented spelling is one of them.
Amongst other spelling interventions is encoding. In encoding activities, students manipulate the relationships between phonemes and graphemes. More specifically, this is using sounds and simple groups of letters and piecing them together to make words. An example of an encoding activity is shown below. Students sound out words with phonemes which translate into graphemes which lead to the letters that spell words. In this example, the word spoon is used. This intervention helps students as they try to learn how to spell new words as well as try to figure out what a word says that they're currently reading.
Self-corrective is when the students look back over a word they are trying to spell with an answer key to find their mistakes and correct the word that they're trying to spell. A mechanism a teacher may use is cover, copy, and compare. For example, you as the teacher might have the student write their way of spelling the word large and then show them how the word is actually spelled. Then you as the teacher will have the student write the right way of writing the word large.
Another spelling intervention is explicit instruction. Explicit instruction is also known as scaffolding. This is a very traditional way of teaching spelling. At first, as concepts are being built, the teacher is very actively engaged with the student and giving them a lot of support. As the student progresses and learns, the teacher offers less and less support, gradually leading to the student becoming independent and able to use this skill. Explicit instruction can use a plethora of different activities such as letter sound writing, the spelling mastery program, and oral word segmentation.
We have put together 2 questions for our peers. The first one would be, what is invented spelling? And the second one is, what is an example of an invented spelling using the semiphonetic stage? These are 2 questions that should have stuck out in the presentation a lot that we focused on. For number 1, invented spelling we discussed is the use of letters and or symbols to represent text. And for the second question of what is an example of invented spelling using the semiphonetic stage, we discussed that the letter U for YOU would be an example of this because for the semiphonetic stage, we use simple sounds to single letters.
Want to learn more about invented spelling? Check out our reference pages on the next 2 slides. Or you could find a teacher that uses the invented spelling in their classroom setting. Or you could also make a list of helpful tips that use invented spelling in the education world. And last but not least, you could use our library to look up more scholarly articles about invented spelling.